All right, welcome to CMS Mob. It is your host, Allison Harrison. I am here with the amazing Hannah Parker of Parker's Home Creations. Hannah, you want to give a little explanation on what Parker Home Creations is?
Yes, yes. First of all, thank you for having me. It's a huge honor to be here. Parker Home Creations is my woodworking business, and we focus on custom pieces for your house, anywhere from custom cabinetry to freestanding pieces of furniture. So, yeah, I mean, we specialize in making your problems fixable into functional spaces. I've been in business for about 5 years now. I have a wood shop out in Hilliard, Ohio. So it's been pretty great.
Awesome, awesome. How'd you get into woodworking? I don't think that's like most people are like, I'm going to graduate high school and I'm going to be a
Right.
woodworker. I'm sure there's a few, but
Yeah. So in high school, we had shop class, and it was the one class that really spoke to me.
what high
Um,
school did you go to that still has shop?
Worthington Kilbourne. I don't
Oh,
think they
that's
have it
amazing.
anymore. Yeah, like I'm not sure if they actually still have it, but when I was in high school, we had a ton of electives. We had photography, we had woodworking, a ton of art classes that you could take. So it really resonated with me because I struggled with the academic classes, history and math, which is so funny because my job is math,
But
and
it's
I'm
it's finding
terrible
the
at it.
but it's the finding the math that makes sense, right? I'm
Right.
sure calculus, you're like, I don't care, but geometry, I
Right.
very much, I see how it
Yes.
applies.
Absolutely. So I got into woodworking in high school, and then when I graduated, I actually went to Hocking College for carpentry and construction management.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, and they had a furniture making program at the Hocking College, and 2 weeks before I went, they canceled the program because two people signed up. And so I was like,
Snap.
yeah, I was scrambling to figure out my next move, but I had already found housing and paid for all of that. So it was kind of like, okay, carpentry and construction management is pretty similar. So I ended up graduating with an associate's degree in carpentry and construction management.
Okay.
And yeah, no, then that led to a list of random odd jobs after college. I was doing landscaping, I was doing decking, and a lot of harder jobs that were just physically taxing on me. And then I got into house painting, and I was a professional house painter for 10 years, and then was like, okay,
Okay.
I'm burnt out on painting, and then got a job at a local woodworking company here in Columbus and worked there for a couple of years. And then I was like, maybe I should try this on my own.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
five
that's
years,
kind
that's
of how it
huge.
started. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great because I feel so many schools don't have anything in any sort of trade to give kids
Right.
exposure. Like, that's great that that was like your launching point.
Yeah, it really was. I was super fortunate to have that experience in high school and to actually show that there is more to being your future adult self rather than just being, oh, well, you got to go be a nurse or you got to be a lawyer,
Look,
which is what my dad wanted me to be. I was like, I'm never going to be those people. And so that was like a huge door that opened for me in high school early on, which was awesome.
yeah, that is great. We had a big FFA program in my high school, and a lot of the guys and a few women like found careers in agriculture, and it was because they had that outlet. And so, like, I think for you, the
So
shop, it
amazing.
sounds like, yeah.
Yeah,
So I've got
it's
to
amazing.
imagine this may be wrong stereotypes, but I've got to imagine woodworking is not like very, it's male dominated. Let's go with
Oh,
that. That's my guess.
yes, yes. I have been through the ringer in this industry. I mean, it it is an industry that is for men, and it is hard to find women that, are in this industry and women that are queer. And so I think it's really important to be a queer owned business because we are such a small part of it. And I feel like the male dominated field aspect, you really have to be confident in yourself because they're going to doubt you throughout the whole career.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
mansplaining is real.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So a thing people may not know about me, I represent a lot of car dealers and they are really wonderful, truly a great group of people, but there are a few that will mansplain. I remember there was someone who worked for my dad and was like, honey, that car's really fast. And then I just like rattled off like what engine it had and like what the
Yes.
supercharger was. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he just looked
Yes.
at me.
Because I mean, it completely throws them off guard. If I'm in Lowe's or Home Depot and I'm looking for something, and then I ask the associate where it's at, they're like, what do you mean? What are you doing with that? Like, and I'm just like, God, just point me in the aisle. Is it 9, 10, 11? It's been wild.
Yeah. You're like, yes, I can use power tools. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Please.
I know it's shocking. It's shocking, but I do know how to use a table saw, believe it or
Yeah, yeah. Do you
not.
think though that's helped you get your clients is that you are this proud queer owned business that they're like, yeah, I want to support you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every person that I've worked for has been amazing. And I think that when they find out, when they search Parker Home Creations or local woodworker, and then they find out that I am a woman, I think it is more exciting for them to like work with me. And I also feel like being a woman in this industry, detail is everything in this. When it comes to building something, the most important part of the process is the details. And being a woman, like, I'm not going to lie, we are just better and more detail oriented when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I think working with clients, it really does ease their minds knowing that I'm listening to them. I'm taking in all of their information and basically turning what their idea is into a reality. So I do think that that is pretty beneficial in
It's
all honesty.
powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What do you think the best reaction to your finished product has been from one of your clients?
Okay, well, I actually just got done with a crazy project. It was a pair of bunk beds for a client, and
Oh, I saw this. It
it
looks
was
sweet.
thank you. Thank you. It was a journey. It was a journey. Like I had some designers reach out to me about this job initially. And, I was handed essentially like a stick drawing of these bunk bed ideas. And I'm
Uh,
sure rope wall, slide, sure, let's get after it. And the homeowner is a very quiet human, very reserved, very quiet. So you don't know what he's thinking. And I just actually had the walkthrough with the designers and the homeowner, and he was like, for anything that we do from here on out in the house, everything is going to be held to like this standard. And I was like, oh my
Ooh,
God. I was like, thank
yeah.
you. He likes it. He likes it. But no, I mean, I feel like when I'm working on a project, I am so in that project and nothing else. Like I put everything I have into that project. So when I give a piece of my project to my clients, it's a piece of me. And so I mean literally like blood, sweat, and tears on the
Yeah.
pieces of wood that I'm giving you most of
Yeah.
the time. So I think it's so special to me to be able to like have something that's going to last for generations. And, I think that's just super
Yeah.
awesome to be able to do
Because you're
that.
building like out of real wood, not like this composite stuff that everything's made out of.
Right, right. I mean, a lot of pieces that all the bunk beds that you saw, those were solid red oak and they were, I mean, I was like, if we need a bomb shelter, we can go to these beds because they're not going anywhere.
Uh,
Shoot.
all right. So earlier you said we, but then you said it's you. So is Parker Home Creations just you? Do you have people to help
So
you?
I am very fortunate to have a neighbor at my shop who is 72. His shop is diagonal from my shop. And he is like my woodworking guru. Seriously, the universe was just like, "Tink, we're gonna set you up with this human that doesn't mansplain to you, number one. He's honestly can say one of the first men that I have been around that makes a suggestion without it being like overbearing. He's going to let me struggle and he's going to allow that to happen because he doesn't want to overstep and I love that about him. So when I say we, he is who helps
Yeah.
me on my installs and stuff. But as far as like when it comes to the actual business, it is just me. I am solo. So I work by myself. Hopefully one day I can change that. I'm just a little too crazy for that.
What do you think that looks like? Do you want help doing like the bookkeeping part of it, the paperwork, or just like hands-on, help me put this together.
More so on the physical side of things. Everything that I do is so heavy. I
Oh
would
yeah.
love to have like another set of hands in the shop to be able to help move things around and give me a little bit of a break physically. It does take a toll for sure.
All right. Well, how do we get you there, Hannah?
I
Let's
don't
let's
know.
problem solve here.
I think here's the problem. Every time I have tried to like bring somebody in, I have been let down with like just the quality. I'm such a very particular person when it comes to finish, when it comes to like presentation of things. And if something slips between the cracks, that's on me. And I feel when it's just me, I know for a fact it's not going to happen. So I know that it's a control thing and I need to let the
Easier said
control.
than done.
I know it's so hard. It's so hard. But I know eventually I will be able to find somebody and bring somebody on to, but I don't know if I'm there yet.
We're gonna help you with like a policies and procedures because, like, no joke, if you write it out, it's like this is how the stain should look when it's done. This is, and then it like gives
Yes.
people guideposts. Otherwise, they're using their judgment, which
You're right.
some people's judgment is questionable. So, like,
Questionable.
yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah.
this afterwards
I
on
would
your
love to.
policies.
I would
Yeah.
love to talk more about that.
So like, so you started this 5 years ago. What is like the best about running your own company?
It's so rewarding. It is both rewarding and also so stressful. I'm starting to kind of get the flow of how things should operate and things aren't as stress level, but a lot of the jobs that I take on are difficult and I am learning as I go and it's hard. But when I get to deliver a finished product to somebody and see the look on their faces and see how happy they are, that's
Yeah.
that's why I do that. I love creating things. I love seeing people with just so much joy that they now have this piece that I've created for them. That was a joint effort because we are collaborating in the beginning together. I'm listening to what they want and then I'm inputting my idea as well. And then it creates this beautiful journey with
Yeah.
somebody. And for
No.
me, working with myself or like for myself, I just really get like a lot from seeing people's reactions to the pieces.
So how do you balance this? Like, you were mostly by yourself. You've got your
Mhm.
neighbor that helps you out. How do you manage that with the need for social interaction? I don't care if you're an
Yeah.
introvert or extrovert. We all need a little bit.
Oh,
Like, how do you fit that in?
well, okay, it's funny that you say that because I'm an extrovert. I really enjoy people and talking to people, and I work solely by myself.
I want to
Like it,
presume that, but I thought you
yeah.
were an extrovert. So I was like, I don't know how
I
you do this
am.
working by
I
yourself.
am. And my poor fiance, because when I come home, I'm just word vomiting at her. And she's like, I
Oh,
just taught fourth grade all day. Please be quiet. And I'm like, but you have to understand. But no, I mean, balance is a huge piece. And I worked in a wood shop with other people. Majority of those humans I worked with were my best friends. So when I left to go out on my own, I felt I was just on an island by myself, just looking for community. And when I first started my business, I reached out to so many people on social media in Columbus. Anybody that was a woodworker here in Columbus, I was messaging them, hey, I'm new to the industry. Like, I would love to come and meet you. And I just did a ton of networking because I wanted community. And I
yeah.
have so many humans in my life that are talented and do the same thing that I do and run their business. And I can call them at the drop of a hat and be like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have to build these stairs and they all have drawers and they need to be the same size. Like, help me. So, I mean, creating a community was a big part. And I make sure that I have milkshake dates once every other week with my guy friends to be like,
I love it.
listen, let's meet up and let's go have some milkshakes and talk shop. And
Oh my God.
yeah, so I definitely make that like a priority because if not, I would literally go insane.
Yeah, I love that it's milkshakes. It's not let's grab a beer, let's grab some
No,
milkshakes. And yeah.
milkshakes all day. Ritzy's milkshakes. Sign me
Oh,
up.
Ritzies are the best. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
That's too funny. Yeah, when I worked by myself, when I first started, I would see my fiance, now wife, and she was like, "Oh, you didn't get to people today." And I was like, "I
Yeah.
didn't." So here is all the things.
Even if you just don't even listen, I just need to
Yeah,
talk at you for like
exactly.
10 minutes, please. And just nod. Even if you nod, like, and or like shake your head, like
Yeah,
that's good for
that's
me.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well,
so true.
congratulations. I didn't realize you two were engaged.
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah, we are. Thank you. It's a long engagement.
Yeah.
You know how it is. I mean, no rush on my end. I'm not going anywhere. You can't get away from me.
Oh my God, I had a question and now it's completely gone out of my head after that.
I can do
Um,
that. I have that effect on people. I really do.
all right, you said the best part was a joy. What is like one of the hardest things that like you didn't know when you set out to create this
Oh,
business of yours?
I would say, okay, so like I said from the beginning, I'm not very savvy when it comes to technology, books, reading, stuff like that. The fine print on things mean a lot. And I feel emailing has been one of those things that I've gotten way better at. But the book side of running your business, like taxes and everything like that, I think when I first started, I was trying to do my own taxes and all of these things. And
Oh
then
gosh.
my sister, who you know very well, was like, in business for herself for many years and was like, stop doing your taxes. You can hire somebody to do your taxes for you. You don't have to
Yeah.
suffer through this. So I would say that side of running the business has always been a challenge for me, but knowing that I can like delegate that to companies that specialize in it and just like having that get done for me, like, that has been a game changer for sure.
I think so many business owners think they have to be great at everything within their business, but it's really do what you're good at and find who you can
Yes,
hire to do the rest.
stick with your strengths. Like I'll build you something out of wood any day, but when it comes to taxes, count me out. Count me out.
I'm I read every day, but I don't do numbers,
Yeah.
so like don't make me do my own taxes. Like,
Right.
no, I like
No.
letters, not words, or letters, not
Right.
numbers. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Hard pass. Hard pass.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing, it came back to me, the question I had. All right. So you said you called everyone else that's in your space that does woodworking. Like that's
Yeah.
brave to just be like,
I
hey, I'm the new competitor in town. I want to chat.
Right. And I think the most important thing for me when I first started was this is a really small industry here in Columbus, and chances are you're going to run into somebody who knows somebody. I seriously was just like, there's enough work out there for all of us. And I feel we can set our egos aside and be like, hey, I'm really struggling here. Help me out. I would love your opinion on how you would go about this build. And are there any suggestions or would you do this differently? And I really went out of my way to meet people because again, you never know where that circle is going to go back around. And that's actually how I got the wood shop that I'm in now is from networking because I reached out to a super talented woodworker and he was phasing out of owning his own business and merging with a larger company. And with that
Yeah.
being said, he had a whole setup. He had all of the machines. He had the wood shop and I was working in a one car garage and he was
And you
like,
just got like a plug and play setup.
right, right. And he was like, hey, I'm phasing out. Any chance you want to move into this space? Which I basically was grandfathered into that space because I was already on a waiting list for that space the past 2 years. And he
Wow.
basically was like, here's this space and here's all this machines. So, I bought him out and now I'm working in a 1,200 square foot shop and not a one car garage. And I'm and now I'm like, look at all this space. And now I'm okay, maybe I'm outgrowing this space
That's
a little
awesome.
bit.
That's
Yeah,
uh, I have
it's
a
amazing.
business coach and she calls them graduation problems. You graduate to a new problem,
Yes, yes, I love
which
that because that's so true. It's so true. I would have never imagined looking at the space I'm in now and being like, that's not going to be big enough for me. Never in my life. I'd be like, oh, okay, sure.
yeah, you're like, this is huge. I'm never going to use it all. And then you're
It
now like, I
is.
can't move.
Right. Well, when I did that bunk bed job, I legit was a can of sardines. I don't have any room to move. And then when it left my shop, I was like, holy crap, this place is huge. I didn't realize how big this was. So I mean, it really is true. You graduate to another problem, but
Yeah.
always fun to figure it
Y-
out.
Do you find
sometimes.
the challenge, like the challenge of the problem, like exhilarating? Like I love a good
Yes.
challenge to be like, I don't know how to do this thing, and then you figure it out, and you're like,
Oh,
heck yeah, like let's go.
yeah. I like to call it like a roller coaster of emotions. If I'm on like a super, super hard job, I'm like, what was I thinking? For example, on this last project, this bunk bed job, I was on the phone in Florida with rope experts because like I had to create a rope wall. And I'm a woodworker, I've never worked with rope. And now I'm trying to figure out if rope stretches or shrinks over time and whatever, what's going to be the most durable.
Yeah.
And I think that roller coaster, it's, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? This is working. This is working. And then you're like, oh my God, now I have another problem. Oh my God. But I like it. I mean, I'm here for the ride, and I really do feel like every job that I've taken on has been such a challenge and also such a big reward, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
all business owners struggle a little bit with complacency because my team
Mhm.
here is always, because we're talking about, is our policy manual complete? And we're like, well, it is until we change it, and everyone's bought
Right.
into like changing it. And so, but I think right for you, you're building new things, so it's completely
Yeah.
different. Now you have to figure out how
E-
rope works, and next it's
Every
going to be the
job is
plastic
different.
slide
Yeah.
of how does that? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, every single thing that I do is so highly customized to that person. So you're just, can I figure this out? Well, I'm going to. Every single time I've done something, I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to figure it out. And
I
I,
mean, I'm
I do
pumped.
yeah, I mean, like, I think it's severe ADHD that is just like, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to figure
Yeah.
it out and it's going to be amazing. But
When
yeah, I
my
mean, it's always a lot of work.
I was gonna say when my wife gets you to do the built-ins for us, you're gonna be okay. Now I have to account for a bowed wall, uneven floors in Clintonville, and like all the other fun
Bring it
stuff that
on,
comes. Yeah.
Allison. Bring on that bowed wall. I got it. I got that bowed wall. I'm gonna build your
Uh,
bookcase like that to fit on the wall. Oh, man, it's
Man,
so true.
well, so what's next for Parker Home Creations? Right, you're growing, you're doing more
Yeah.
projects, and like, what's your lead time on a project? Because like custom stuff takes up all your time. You said you put your whole soul in it.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the project. I mean, lead time, like, are you asking like how long do projects normally take me, or are you asking like how far out I am?
I mean, I think both, right? The hope is someone hears
Yeah,
this podcast and is like, Hannah's a
yeah.
cool chick. I want her to do this stuff for me. So like,
I mean, currently I'm booked till spring, but like
that's
projects
incredible.
depending, yeah, it's amazing because I mean, winter is such a slow month for me typically that I'm like begging like Emma to hire me, like my sister. I'm like, so you got any shelves you need me to build or anything for your studio? But like it depends because I've had jobs, larger jobs that take sometimes 3 months. I mean, that project again, the bunk bed job was a 3-month job, but it had been in the works since last March. I mean, so almost a year long process of meeting with the homeowners, talking with the designers, but then build time, it was around 3 months. And then your typical built-ins around like fireplaces, I get a lot of built-ins on either side of a fireplace.
Yeah.
Those can take anywhere between 3 to 4 weeks build time because again, it's just me. I would love to speed up production, but again, I'm kind of just I'm gonna get to it today. But yeah, I mean, the time now is spring, and hopefully, I just keep booking some awesome jobs. I'm having a blast.
The harder someone is to get into, the more intrigued I am by it because I'm like, oh, they're good. I can't get an
They
appointment
got a wait
for,
list. They got a wait list.
yeah,
Yeah,
right? I think there's some psychology about it because if you were like
yeah,
a woodworker and you're like, yeah, cool, I can start tomorrow, I'd be like,
yeah.
um,
Be like, wait, why? Why tomorrow?
yeah,
What
like,
what
did someone
happened?
cancel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I just had a cancellation actually.
yeah.
No, I get it though. No, it's true. It's true. But yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it is the allure of it all.
but it also speaks to
Definitely.
like how sought after you are, right? Like people are
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll wait 3 months until I can meet with Hannah to get this thing
Which is
done.
awesome. It's awesome because sometimes you have people that are that's not going to work and I'm like, "Okay. I don't know what you want me to do about that." So, I mean, sometimes people will walk and they weren't right for me apparently.
Yeah. And do
So,
you feel confident in being like turning down work where you're like, you're not my client. Like there's just something.
Yes, I have had to do that a few times. And like, I think the hardest part for me is I feel there's a huge people pleaser here. And
Yeah.
I do feel sometimes I'm like, you know what? Like this project would be better for somebody else. You're going to have a better experience because I don't do exterior work. It's just not my jam. I've
Yeah.
done it in the past, and I'm slowly starting to get a little bit more picky with the jobs that I do take on. And so being able to steer people in a direction that they are going to get a better experience if they go with somebody who specializes in exterior. So I have had to turn down a few jobs, and it is hard for me, but I'm getting more confident doing it because I know in the end it's going to be better for both of us.
Yeah. Do you think that
Yeah.
comes with experience? I know when I
Yes.
started, I was like, yeah, yeah, I'll do this, I don't know, thing that's way outside my comfort zone. And then I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You're not getting a great product and I'm miserable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was doing jobs when I first started. And again, when I first started, I was also painting. So I was painting to try and save up money to buy all of my woodworking tools. So
Yeah.
luckily, I had that background. So I was able to save up money to slowly put aside and buy out all of the tools that I needed because it is expensive. But I was saying yes to so many things that I'm like, what am I doing? I was building fences. I'm like, what am I doing? I
Yeah.
I don't build fences. I'm not digging post holes, you know? And now I'm like, okay, now I'm doing custom cabinetry and freestanding pieces of furniture where I should be in my little hobbit hole in my wood shop, you know? So
You're very
I
social.
do,
Hobbit hole.
yeah, yeah. And it does come with experience. And I feel the confidence comes from the more you do it. Yeah.
For sure.
Come a
Yeah.
long way.
All right. The one last question that I ask everyone is what is the one piece of advice that you wish you knew before you open your business?
Just trust yourself. I mean, I really do feel like I still struggle with second guessing myself, and I have this constant battle with myself. And I think, you can be your own worst enemy. And if this is something that you believe in, and it's something that you are passionate about, and it's something you want to do, then just trust yourself because you're the only one stopping you. And that's something I wish that I told myself, and something I should probably write down that I should look at more often because it's so true. I feel I'm the one that holds myself back. And I think if I could do it all over again and, go back 5 years and just be like, just trust yourself,
Yeah.
then that would be the best advice I could give.
There is something to like a gut. Like, what does your gut
Yeah.
say? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000% for sure.
Well, this has been a pleasure, Hannah. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for including me on this. I've had a blast and I cannot wait to build your shelves.